10 rural Tennessee properties appear to offer something many American buyers assumed had disappeared: a real house, private land, room for a garden or workshop, and a price that does not automatically require a 30-year mortgage. One property includes more than 27 acres and its own off-grid infrastructure. Another comes with 2 separate homes. Several appear to be available for less than $100,000. And the least expensive property in this group is a 3-bedroom brick house on approximately 1.5 acres, with a reported price of just $40,000. But these are not equal opportunities. A cheap house can become expensive when it needs structural repairs. Large acreage can be difficult to maintain. An additional manufactured home may create value, or it may become another costly project. And a remarkably low listing price may involve conditions that are not obvious from the photographs. So rather than simply counting backward from the most expensive house to the cheapest, we are going to examine these properties according to what they may actually offer a buyer. We will look at which one appears easiest to live in immediately, which property offers the strongest homesteading setup, which gives you the most land, and which one carries the greatest uncertainty. By the end, we will choose the strongest option. For a budget buyer, the best property for self-sufficient living and the best overall opportunity. And that final winner may not be the $40,000 house. Before looking at the homes, there is one important point to understand. Rural real estate prices are snapshots. A property can be available when research begins and under contract before a video is published. Taxes, boundaries, water sources, septic conditions, road access, insurance, eligibility, and financing options can also vary considerably. That does not make these examples useless. They show what types of opportunities can still appear in different parts of Tennessee. But anyone considering a property like these should verify the current listing, obtain the disclosure documents, confirm the acreage with county records, and arrange an independent inspection before making a financial commitment. With that in mind, let's begin with the property that may offer the most comfortable mountain lifestyle in the group. Near Mountain City in northeastern Tennessee, the highest-priced home in this selection was listed at approximately $238,000. That is not the dramatic bargain we will reach later, but it may be one of the easiest properties to understand. The house contains roughly 1,132 square feet on nearly 2 partially wooded acres. Its covered porch, metal roof, mountain setting, and durable exterior give it the appearance many buyers imagine when they begin searching for a Tennessee retreat. Inside, the layout is more distinctive than a basic one-story country house. The main level contains the living, dining, and kitchen areas, while an upper loft level provides the primary bedroom, additional flexible space, and access to a private balcony. That balcony is not merely a decorative detail. For a buyer interested in a second home vacation property or peaceful full-time residence, the outdoor connection may be one of the main reasons to choose this property instead of a larger but more isolated parcel elsewhere. There is also a propane fireplace, wood flooring, a private well, a septic system, and a separate storage building with workshop space. No homeowners association was reported, which may allow greater flexibility, although county rules and deed restrictions would still need to be checked. The main disadvantage is value per acre. Nearly $238,000 for less than 2 acres is considerably different from paying a similar amount for 20 or 27 acres. You are paying for the mountain environment, the finished character of the home, and what appears to be a relatively comfortable setup. This is therefore not the best property for someone whose first priority is farming, hunting, or acquiring the maximum amount of land. It is better suited to a buyer who values scenery, a manageable parcel, and a home that already feels like a finished retreat. The next property moves in the opposite direction. The house is simpler, but the land becomes the main event. Near Lobelville, one rural property includes approximately 27.02 acres. That is the largest parcel in this group, and it changes the entire calculation. For buyers searching for privacy hunting space, timber trails, or an off-grid homestead, the acreage may matter far more than the finishes inside the house. Most of the land is described as wooded and gently rolling, creating separation from surrounding properties and providing multiple possible uses. The existing home contains approximately 1,152 square feet over 2 levels. It includes a bedroom and full bathroom on the main floor, 2 additional bedrooms upstairs, a half bathroom, a combined living and dining space, and an unfinished basement. This is not presented as a luxury farmhouse. Its appeal comes from the systems and structures already connected to the land. The property reportedly includes a large detached shop, a barn, other storage buildings, a solar power system, a natural spring, a well, and a septic system. For someone attempting to create a self-sufficient rural compound, that infrastructure can be extremely valuable. Building a shop, drilling a well, installing septic, adding solar equipment, and creating animal or equipment storage. After purchasing raw land can consume a large budget. Here, many of those elements may already exist. However, existing infrastructure is only valuable when it works correctly. A buyer would need to verify the condition and capacity of the solar system, test the well and spring water, inspect the septic system, examine the barn and shop, and confirm that every improvement is located within the legal property boundaries. The land may also require ongoing work. 27 wooded acres can provide exceptional privacy, but maintaining trails, controlling invasive plants, removing damaged trees, protecting structures from moisture, and maintaining long access routes requires time and equipment. This property is best suited to a buyer who wants independence and is prepared to manage rural land. It is much less suitable for someone who wants a small yard, simple maintenance, and easy access to urban services. For maximum acreage and existing off-grid potential, this may be the most impressive option in the entire group. But the next large parcel may be more practical for an active homesteader. Near Waynesboro, another Tennessee property includes approximately 20.88 mostly wooded acres. Unlike a property where the land is simply open or undeveloped, this one reportedly already has several features associated with day-to-day self-sufficient living. There is a large garden area, fenced sections, chicken coops, covered, firewood storage, mature trees, and regular wildlife. The property also contains a natural cave, an unusual feature that may fascinate some buyers, but should be treated carefully. A cave can add character and recreational interest, but buyers should not assume that it increases usable value. Its location, stability, drainage, safety, and effect on insurance or land use would need proper evaluation. The home itself includes 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. The living area has a fireplace, and the property also reportedly uses a wood pellet stove in addition to central heating and air conditioning. A screened porch creates protected outdoor living space, while the private well and septic system support the rural setup. What separates this property from the larger Lobelville parcel is immediate homesteading usability. Someone interested in growing food, keeping chickens, storing firewood, and gradually developing the acreage may be able to begin with less preparation. The trade-off is that the home and existing agricultural improvements still need careful inspection. Fencing can be expensive to repair. Old chicken structures may need cleaning or rebuilding. Wells should be tested. Septic systems should be evaluated. Heating appliances require maintenance, and wooded acreage can create drainage pest and tree risk concerns. This property is not simply a house with scenery. It appears designed for someone who intends to use the land. For a buyer who wants an active homestead instead of a weekend retreat, the Waynesboro property may be one of the strongest candidates. Our next home offers far less acreage, but it may be easier for an ordinary buyer to maintain. In the Reagan area of western Tennessee, a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom home sits on approximately 3.26 wooded acres. 3 acres may not sound dramatic after seeing parcels of 20 and 27 acres, but it can be a more realistic amount of land for many owners. It provides privacy, room for a garden space for animals, or a workshop, and distance from neighboring houses without creating the maintenance burden of a large rural tract. The home uses a single-level, open layout, connecting the kitchen and living area. Vinyl flooring and ceiling fans keep the interior straightforward, and the two-bedroom configuration may work well for a couple, retiree, small family, or buyer who needs one guest room or office. Outside the covered porch adds usable living space, while a separate workshop provides storage and room for projects. The most important feature may be the in-ground storm shelter. Severe weather protection is something buyers often consider too late, and installing a quality shelter after purchasing a home can add another significant expense. This property appears to offer a balanced version of rural living. It has enough land to feel private, but not so much that the owner needs tractors, extensive fencing, or a full land management plan. Its weakness is that two bedrooms may limit future resale demand compared with a three-bedroom home. Buyers should also inspect the workshop storm shelter roof well or public water connection septic system and road access. For someone who wants an affordable primary residence with a practical amount of land, this could be stronger than the larger properties. More acreage is not always better when the buyer must personally maintain every acre. The Middleton property introduces another valuable feature: water. This three-bedroom, one-bathroom home reportedly contains approximately 1,728 square feet and sits on 5 acres with 2 ponds. Ponds can dramatically change how a rural property feels. They create attractive views, wildlife habitat, possible fishing opportunities, and a reliable visual focal point. But they also require due diligence. A buyer should determine whether the ponds hold water consistently, whether they are entirely within the property lines, how they are fed, whether the dams or banks are stable, and whether flooding or drainage problems affect the house or access road. Inside the home includes a fireplace, an open living arrangement, a sunroom, and enough square footage to create a comfortable family residence. Appliances, including the washer and dryer, were reportedly included at the time of the listing. A detached double carport and an attached storage building add practical value outside. The 5 acres appear more open and usable than some of the heavily wooded properties. That may make the land easier to adapt for gardens, a few animals' play space, or an additional outbuilding. The major concern is the reported as-is condition. As-is does not automatically mean a property is unsafe or a bad purchase. It usually means the seller does not intend to complete repairs or provide credits for discovered problems. That makes the inspection and contract terms even more important. A buyer should pay close attention to the roof, foundation, moisture, electrical system, plumbing, HVAC equipment, pond drainage, and any signs of deferred maintenance. The Middleton property could offer excellent long-term upside because of its square footage 5-acre parcel and 2 ponds. But it belongs in the category of opportunity with uncertainty. The right buyer may gain significant value. The wrong buyer may discover that cosmetic improvements were the least expensive part of the project. The next property is one of the most unusual because it reportedly includes 2 separate residences. Near Spring City, a wooded 2.3-acre property contains a primary country cabin and a second manufactured home. The main cabin includes 2 bedrooms and 1.5 bathrooms. Cathedral ceilings, exposed beams, a wood-burning stove, and an open living area give it a strong, rustic identity. The kitchen contains an island and breakfast bar, while newer vinyl flooring, central heating and cooling, an on-demand water heater, a generator, metal siding, and a metal roof add practical features. The second residence is a 16 by 80 manufactured home with 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. At the time described, it was being used mainly for storage and would require work before it could function as a dependable guest house rental or second family residence. That creates both the opportunity and the risk. If the manufactured home can be legally occupied, repaired at a reasonable cost, insured, and connected to functioning utilities, the property may support multi-generational living or future rental income. But a buyer must not assign full residential value to that second home until its condition and legal status are verified. Manufactured homes can present title issues, age-related financing restrictions, foundation requirements, electrical problems, water damage, and insurance limitations. The property also reportedly includes 2 wells, a barn, storage structures, and an existing block foundation that may allow future development. At approximately $125,000, the package appears compelling. But it is not the same as buying 2 finished, move-in-ready homes for that price. It is more accurately viewed as 1 usable cabin, plus a second structure with potential. This property is best for an experienced buyer-contractor or family willing to improve the land gradually. It is less suitable for someone who needs predictable expenses and immediate rental income. Now we enter the sub-$100,000 range, where the opportunities become more attention-grabbing and the need for verification becomes even greater. Near Palmersville, a well-kept 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom country house was presented at approximately $94,000 with around 2 acres. Unlike some of the project-oriented properties, this home appears simple and immediately understandable. It is a single-story house with a living room, an eat-in kitchen, wood cabinets, and a laundry room that may also function as an office, hobby room, or occasional third sleeping space. The interior combines hardwood vinyl plank and newer roll vinyl flooring. A metal roof and vinyl siding can reduce exterior maintenance, while window air conditioning units, ceiling fans, and a gas wall heater keep the mechanical systems basic. Outside the property includes a carport, porch, patio, storage building, and level yard. There are no dramatic ponds, caves, 20-acre forests, or second houses here. That may be exactly why this property deserves attention. Complex rural properties often produce complex expenses. A straightforward house on 2 manageable acres may be a safer choice for a retiree first-time rural buyer, or anyone moving from a smaller town. The main concerns are the limited bedroom count, the age and efficiency of the heating and cooling equipment, and the need to verify the condition of the roof, foundation, septic system, water supply, and electrical service. Still among the lower-priced homes, this may be one of the easiest to occupy without beginning a major renovation. The Sharon property offers slightly more house and land in the same general region. This 1-story home contains approximately 1,369 square feet on about 3.2 acres. It includes 2 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, a separate dining room, a large living area, and a practical utility room. The presence of 2 bathrooms is meaningful at this price level. It can improve everyday convenience and make the home more functional for guest couples or buyers planning to age in place. The large primary bedroom and straightforward layout may also appeal to retirees who want space without multiple levels. Outside the home reportedly has a metal roof, vinyl siding, a deck, and a storm shelter. A newer pump was installed in the well, although the complete water system should still be tested. This property appears to sit between the Palmersville home and the Reagan property. It offers more acreage than Palmersville and more interior space, but it may require more personalization or updating. The key question is not whether the finishes are fashionable. Paint, flooring, lighting, and cabinets can be changed gradually. The more important questions involve the roof installation, foundation, plumbing, wiring, well, septic system, storm shelter, and moisture control. For a buyer willing to complete cosmetic updates over time, this may be a stronger long-term value than purchasing a more polished home with less land. The next property may offer the strongest acreage-to-price relationship among the homes below $100,000. Near Savannah, a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom country house sits on approximately 7.29 acres and was reportedly priced below $90,000. The home contains around 1,196 square feet. It has a single-level layout, an eat-in kitchen, a basic living room, metal roofing, and vinyl siding. The house is not presented as luxurious. Its value comes from providing 3 bedrooms, a livable structure, outbuildings, and more than 7 acres at a price below many new vehicles. Outside the property includes a workshop, storage buildings, and a covered porch. The water and wastewater systems are reportedly handled by a private well and septic system. 7 acres can support a large garden, trails, small livestock, equipment storage, or simply a private buffer from surrounding development. It is also an amount of land that may retain appeal among rural buyers without becoming as demanding as a 27-acre tract. But a sub-$90,000 house with more than 7 acres deserves careful investigation. The buyer should confirm whether the entire parcel is usable, whether any portion lies in a flood zone, whether the outbuildings are permitted and structurally sound, and whether the access road is public, private, or shared. A professional inspection should evaluate the home's foundation, roof, wiring, plumbing, HVAC or heating equipment, water quality, and septic condition. Financing may also be more complicated if the house needs substantial repairs, or if the outbuildings and acreage make the appraisal difficult. Even with those concerns, this may be one of the most balanced opportunities in the group. It provides 3 bedrooms, meaningful acreage, existing storage, and a price below $100,000. And then there is the $40,000 property. Near Goodsprings, the final home was described as a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom brick ranch containing approximately 1,219 square feet on a 1.5-acre lot. It reportedly includes central heating and cooling, a spacious living area, a double garage, additional storage, and a practical single-story floor plan. On paper, this appears almost impossible to beat. A brick exterior, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, garage space, central HVAC, and more than 1 acre for $40,000 would make this the least expensive and potentially highest demand property in the selection. However, this is also where buyers must resist the urge to make assumptions. An unusually low price can result from many different circumstances. The property might require repairs, not visible in the photographs. It could be an auction, foreclosure, estate sale, cash-only transaction, or listing with occupancy, title access, or financing complications. The price may also represent a starting bid rather than a normal asking price. None of those possibilities should be assumed without evidence, but none should be ignored either. Before treating this as a move-in-ready $40,000 house, a buyer would need to confirm the sale, format, title, condition, property taxes, utilities, structural condition, insurance, eligibility, occupancy status, and whether the seller accepts inspections or financing contingencies. If the property is truly available through a conventional sale, has a clear title, and needs only manageable repairs, it may be the best pure bargain in the group. If the price is connected to an auction or major condition problem, the final cost could be very different. That is why the lowest number does not automatically determine the winner. When comparing all 10 properties, 4 different categories emerge. For the buyer who wants a comfortable mountain retreat and can spend closer to $240,000, the Mountain City home offers the clearest lifestyle package. It provides character, manageable acreage, mountain surroundings, and a more finished residential experience. For maximum land and independence, the Lobelville property stands above the others. More than 27 acres, multiple outbuildings, solar power, spring water, a well, and septic infrastructure create genuine self-sufficiency potential. For an active homestead, the Waynesboro property may be more practical. Its garden fencing, chicken facilities, firewood storage, wooded acreage, and existing country living systems give the buyer a foundation for immediate land use. For multi-generational living or future income potential, the Spring City property is the most interesting. But the second manufactured home must be evaluated as a project, not automatically counted as a finished residence. Among the simpler, lower-cost homes, Palmersville appears strongest for someone who wants an organized, manageable property with minimal complexity. Sharon offers more interior flexibility and acreage for a buyer willing to make updates. The Savannah property may provide the best combination of price, bedrooms, acreage, workshop space, and long-term rural usability. More than 7 acres at below $90,000 creates room for both lifestyle and future improvement. Goodsprings House remains the most exciting price, but also the option that requires the most immediate verification. At $40,000, the transaction details matter more than the kitchen paint colors or yard. So which property offers the strongest overall value? For a capable homesteader who wants land and existing infrastructure, the Lobelville property may be the winner. 27 acres gives the owner opportunities that cannot easily be added later. A house can be renovated. A kitchen can be replaced. But creating another 25 acres around an existing home is usually impossible. For an ordinary buyer seeking a lower-cost primary residence, however, the Savannah property may be the more balanced choice. It offers 3 bedrooms, more than 7 acres, outbuildings, a manageable single-level house, and a reported price below $90,000. It is large enough to support a meaningful rural lifestyle, but not as overwhelming as a 20 or 27-acre compound. It also provides more land and more bedrooms than several similarly priced alternatives. The $40,000 Goodsprings home receives the award for the most dramatic advertised opportunity. But without confirming the sale conditions, it should not automatically be called the best deal. Before pursuing any rural property, buyers should complete the same basic process. First, confirm the exact parcel and property boundaries through county records and a current survey when appropriate. Second, determine whether the road is publicly maintained and whether any private or shared access agreement exists. Third, inspect the house outbuildings: well, septic system, drainage, roof, foundation, electrical system, plumbing, heating equipment, and any alternative energy systems. Fourth, speak with an insurance provider before the inspection period ends. Rural homes, older roofs, wood-burning appliances, manufactured structures, vacant buildings, and large outbuildings can affect coverage. Fifth, confirm financing before assuming the property qualifies for a conventional mortgage. Some low-priced homes require cash renovation financing or a lender experienced with rural properties. Finally, calculate the first-year budget rather than focusing only on the purchase price. Include immediate repairs, equipment, driveway work, fencing, water treatment, septic service, heating upgrades, insurance, moving expenses, and basic maintenance. A $90,000 property that needs $10,000 of manageable work may still be an excellent opportunity. A $40,000 property that requires $80,000 of urgent repairs may not be the bargain the headline suggests. These Tennessee properties demonstrate that affordable rural ownership has not completely disappeared. Buyers may still find houses with land, workshops, ponds, barns, wells, gardens, and genuine privacy for less than the price of many ordinary suburban homes. But the strongest opportunity is not always the prettiest house or the lowest advertised price. It is the property whose land, condition, location, infrastructure, and total cost match what the buyer can realistically manage. For maximum acreage and self-sufficient potential, the Lobelville property stands out. For the strongest balance of price-usable land, bedrooms, and everyday practicality, the Savannah property may be the smartest overall choice. And the $40,000 Goodsprings house remains the one everyone should investigate first. Carefully, patiently, and without assuming that an extraordinary price tells the entire story. Which would you choose? The 3-bedroom home with more than 7 acres for under $90,000? Or the 27-acre off-grid property with a simpler house but far more independence? Share your choice in the comments and subscribe for more affordable homes, rural properties, and real estate opportunities that show how far a limited housing budget can still go.